when I came home from the military, I sensed something bad was going to happen.
That experience prepared me to come home back to the world. And when we came back, I came home to a war zone. When I think about coming home, I think about a lot. This is one of the first brothers I met when I came home. I reconnected with. And this is my man, Carol, who lived around the corner from me. And I would see Carol and we would build. And I liked the brother. He was a few years younger than me. And we would build about life. Unbeknownst to me, Carol was a gangster. You know what I mean? I find out now he shot up the school earlier, and he had beef with a lot of people. Well, I didn't even know that. I just saw a good young brother. I mean, it's the layers behind who his brother is phenomenal. He's loved by some and hated by many. But I just saw a good brother. I looked beyond the reputation. I looked at a good person.
And this picture was taken in what year?
This particular picture was taken around 82, 83.
Right.
I met him in 80. I reconnected with him in 80. I came home to war now because he's at war with a lot of brothers I know. And what's interesting about this picture, a lot of young people knew me, and they all embraced me. But unbeknownst to me, just a few months earlier, they were all at war with each other. They had major wars with each other going on, and they were still active. So I had knew other brothers when I would travel to reconnect myself in the community. There's brothers I would roll with later on, and unbeknownst to me, they were shooting at each other just a few months earlier. They were arch enemies to each other. And I'm building all these different groups, and I'm building with another group of brothers. Like the guards I was building with later on in the evening would come visit me, and then they mentioned to me that, one of the brothers' sister was gang raped. And now they want to enact justice. And this happened, I just came home to this. And I knew the brother, and I like, this is what you brothers want to do. Let's go enact justice. And I'll never forget, being with these brothers and agreeing to go look for the people that did it. And they mentioned their names. The names weren't familiar to me at all. So it's interesting that, when we rolled up at this party, they say, there they go. And these brothers was locked and loaded. And I'm looking at these brothers, and I said, we can't do this. I know those brothers. The brothers that they wanted to take out were brothers I knew who I used to hang out with earlier. Younger brothers that were good brothers to me. And they wanted to kill them. And I told these brothers, we can't. They said, we're not going to get another chance. We got to do this right now. I said, y'all can't do this. I know these brothers. They said, yo, we got to do this. We may not do it. We get another opportunity. And I told the brothers, we can't do it. And I called it off. And then I went and I talked to them brothers about it later on. And they told me that it didn't happen that way. It was a misinterpretation. But my point, and what was interesting about the brothers they wanted to kill, they had beef with Carol. So you got these three different scenarios going on. Carol got beef with these two brothers that were accused of rape. The other brothers I know who I roll with at night got beef with these two brothers, and three groups want to kill each other. And at that point, I realized there's a problem here. Something went drastically wrong where there is no love, there's separation, there's hatred, and we got to put this to an end. And I wanted no part of none of that. All I wanted to do was be a light and figure out what went wrong. And the whole neighborhood scene that had just gone astray. All the brothers I knew went astray. Another thing, I remember the first party I went through, and I reconnected with a lot of my old partners in this book. And I had to put this picture in here because this is the party I went through. And I didn't even realize, this is my man Shabazz, he had just got shot a few months earlier. You know what I mean? And then everybody else ended up going to the penal institution. So this is a partner I grew up with in the 70s. And now I'm coming home and he had just got shot, I believe, the spring of 1980. And I came home in the summer of 1980. So I'm coming home to all of this war and all this confusion, all of this death and destruction. And nobody's teaching civilization. It's like, what happened? What happened to brothers saying, wanting to be lights? Everybody now got nicknames. You know what I mean? They went from having righteous names to now this is Shah, this is this name, that name. And brothers is all engaged in just 10% behavior. They just want to get rich. And I couldn't believe it. One of the brothers who gave me my first dark room, was a brother in our cipher. And he gave me his enlarger. And I guess he traded it for scales because he went on to sell cocaine. So everybody had changed. And nobody, I'm looking around, nobody's really building. Like, what happened? You know what I mean? It's just changed overnight.
So what do you think it was that made brothers want to go from the 5% to the 10%?
Money. Money, greed, power. A false sense of power. People had that illusion of just wanting money. And it became their God. And I didn't understand that. You know what I mean? So I'm working in overtime trying to save the young brothers, going back up to the high schools and reminding them.
if Mecca did this.